Good morning.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
How awesome does Churchill look? Anyway, welcome to Maker Guys. I'm Dave, for those of you that don't know me, and welcome to the Maker Workshop. Today we're going to be talking about manual LS3 versus auto LS3 and what's going on behind me, which is BMW to the MT82 6-speed swaps. So what we're going to do today is do a comparison about manual versus auto, because a lot of our, I want to say YouTube questions and Instagram questions are, what are they like and what would suit me best? And it's a tough one because I'm not you and I can't say that, like, give you an example myself, I've become very lazy. I'm now 35 years old and I'm not going to lie, I despise driving manual cars unless I'm on a track and I want to actually set myself up for a day and have fun. I jump in a manual and I think, oh God, I can't drink my coffee and drive, I can't eat a sandwich and drive. And we all get in that familiar territory of being lazy. It's the human error, isn't it? So, but they are fun nonetheless. I want to say, if I was to build a ragtop, which I'm going to this summer, I'd say ragtop 90, manual V8, so you can literally redline the hell out of it and listen to that V8 roar. This vehicle it's been one of our builds for about 5 years now, and the customer originally had an LQ9. Back when we first converted it, it's what the current owner at the time could afford, so it's what we installed for him. And it was a great engine, it was running Canon's standalone system, and those of you that know standalone, it can have its hiccups where we ran it with minimal sensors, and at the time in business I was thinking minimal sensors, less to go wrong, more reliability for the customer. But it was a pig to start in the cold, and it had a few intermittent issues which, you know, we managed to iron out with tuning, but I wasn't entirely happy with it. So Dominic, the new owner of this vehicle, said to me, Dave, it's really driving me crazy, how do we resolve it? I said, well, we can fit a full GM, basically their latest Lumen ECU, that has things like MAF sensors, so it can measure what the temperature of the air coming in, so it knows what temperature it is outside. And basically it gives for a more efficient start, more efficient running, it runs lambda sensors, all that kind of thing, so it can basically run as efficient as it possibly can, well, as efficient as these V8s possibly can. But today we're trying to get miles on it. I've got 50 miles on the car so far, and it's all about trying to find niggles, you know, maybe the odd loose steering pipe or a hose that might be weeping before the customer collects it tomorrow. And I'll drop it down a cog so you get a feel for this car. Yesterday, we try not to rev these cars hard, but we have to do some for tuning. So yesterday I dialed in remotely with Paul at Wartech to keep an eye on temperatures, to keep an eye on revs. With this car having air conditioning as an extra, we had to make sure the idle was above like 750 consistently, because what I don't want the customer doing is when the air conditioning is in, I don't want it cutting out. So it's doing real life tuning and real life driving. That's the most important thing to me, and asking the customer what he wants. A lot of our customers want Larry cars that are, you know, Saturday drivers that, you know, put a smile on your face and go like stink. But this customer, he actually uses this as a daily. It's a bit of a PR tool for his business, and he loves it.
So tell me about the gearbox you've put in this one.
So this is a Tremec T56 Magnum. So this is probably, I want to say, one of the most strongest, robust gearboxes pretty much on the planet when it comes to manuals. You'll notice that when people like BMW and Audi, they never bring out a powerful thing like, you won't see like a 335D in a manual option, because the gearboxes are so expensive, because they've got to be built so strong, and that means hardened gears, it means phosphor bronze bushes, and it also requires a male or female that can actually drive. And no offence to you out there that can't drive, but there are many. I've sat with many in cars and thought, you guys shouldn't be driving this kind of car because you just can't handle it. it's a bit like this, like sometimes you have to double clutch. If you're trying to select a gear that is, you know, 2 down from where you currently are, you want to go for that harsh overtake, you've got to know how to behave a heavy duty clutch in theory. And this is why Corvette, I want to say GM and Corvette are probably, and Porsche, they're the only people that supply cars that are powerful cars with manual gearboxes, but you pay a premium price tag, like the Corvettes out there with LSAs with manual boxes, a bit like we put in the Wombat, that kind of thing. That is what this gearbox is. So it's known as the Magnum for its strength, I want to say.
So in these Defenders, clutch is very often quite tough. How is it in this one?
So we spent a long time working out the correct master cylinder to make this clutch actually lighter, and when we're doing conversions we like to try and aim to, you know, improve things, make things better, make things stronger, make things more reliable, and get rid of this reputation of unreliability in a Land Rover. So this one we've gone with, and I'm not going to say what size it is because I know my competition are going to jump straight on the bandwagon and copy it, but we've gone with a size that makes this clutch, like look at that, there's no effort. And we've got a couple of clients that have actually had knee operations and they want to look after their, let's say, their new knee in theory. And this clutch, I'd quite happily say that Gemma would drive this car and not complain, because every other Defender she jumps in and she's like, oh my god Dave, I can't press that bloody clutch. But this one, I could quite happily do it with my fingers, probably 2 fingers. So if you want a V8 and you want a manual, this is the one, guys. It's like, let's listen to this. You've got 6,000 RPM, 8 cylinders thumping away. And please don't ask me what it does to the gallon, because you're in the wrong YouTube channel.
Jumping into this car, you wouldn't really know what's underneath powering it.
No, so we spent a lot of time on getting the gear sticks to look exactly how they should be in the factory. So we've got high and low in the correct place. In this vehicle we've actually removed low ratio. What we do inside the transfer case, because it's renowned that this transfer case is going to be behind something that is very powerful, i.e. a 550 horsepower V8, low range, in my opinion, will get destroyed. Like, first gear in a Magnum gearbox is very low anyway. I can't give you exact figures, I don't know off the top of my head, but it is very low. And with having the extra power in the torque, you can pretty much pull off anywhere in low range. Sorry, in first gear, not low range. So what we've done is this stick now operates diff lock in, diff lock out. And for those of you that don't know what diff lock is, it basically locks the transfer case, allowing permanent power to the front axle and to the rear axle. So if you were in the event of losing traction off-road, you push that into diff lock in, and then you've got ultimate traction gain to climb out of that mud hole.
Don't forget, like and subscribe.
So it's rare that we have one of each vehicle in the workshop at the same time, but as it happens, we've got a customer's car that's actually come in for a Dakota Dash upgrade. He's got bored of the basic spec dials, if you like, so he's asked me for the Dakota upgrade. So I thought, why not? We'll do a bit of a comparison why we've got it here. So this is the automatic. This has got 6-speed, 6 L80 behind it, and a very strong gearbox. Very simple, does its job. I love how laid back they are, you know, cruising along. Like you say, you can sit back, drink your Costa as you're on your way to work, or a Starbucks, whatever your fancy is, or your can of Coca-Cola. And it's just simple. And what I love about it is that you can stamp down, and you've got a couple of pedals for that laid back drive. Excuse me there. But most of all, I love about the Auto is that you've got a couple of options. You can go all the way back into sport, and you can tap shift and you can bang up and down the gears for that out and out acceleration. Or you can just put it back into drive and just have a nice gentle burble around.
So compared to the manual Defender we were in before, this does obviously not look quite stock for a Defender. So what sort of work have you had to do internally here?
So internally, this has got our centre console. So this is our earlier console. Those of you that follow us Notice that we've made a nice billet surround here. It's a little bit more busy, but this is nice, keeps it minimalist. But what I do love is the mag charger that we've added additionally here. And normally the phone will drop onto a pad here, and that will work an absolute treat. But we've got a couple of cup holders for the all-important drinks, and of course our build tag that every car that comes from Mahker gets. And other than that, I just like how simple these LSs are. It's just a nice simple stick, S500 gear stick, simple, stupid, and it just works. So for the more relaxed gentleman or lady, I'd recommend this swap because it's just relaxed. You can sit back, jump in the car, not worry about a big heavy clutch. And a lot of people struggle with Defenders because the clutch does take getting some used to. The seating style, especially myself, my knees are in the dash, unless you've got a bulkhead removal bar. But the automatic is very nice, you just burble along. What I have found is that the automatics, when they're tuned properly, and you spend a lot of time getting the gearbox absolutely spot on gear changes, it does regain some very good miles per gallon because you can cruise along, the gearbox will put itself in the most economical position, normally the tallest gear. And the most favourable bit is, if you don't want to go for that overtake, you can hit kick down, like so, and just go for it. Which is my most favourite thing about these cars. And the noise that they make is just... This car's actually got a large silencer on it because the customer did the gumball in this car. So this car has been all the way over to America and he's done the whole tour, the whole shebang in it, and had a fantastic time.
Yeah, tell me about the dash in this car.
So the Dakota, for those of you that follow my Instagrams and YouTube, the Dakota is one of our favourite features now. We're fitting these now with the BMW swaps, we're fitting them with the LS swaps, we're fitting with the Cubby swaps, and what I love about these the most, you see all these dials here, the smaller dials, so you've got voltage, you've got oil pressure, you've got water temp, you've got your fuel gauge, and this one up here is voltage if I didn't mention that already. RPM, miles per hour, you can have a little RPM one down here, and the nice bit is you can switch between what is on your screens, so you can have kilometres an hour, let's say you're going to France or Spain one weekend, and then that shows you your odometer, here's your RPM, and you can change this as well. And you can record things, so you can have your clock there, and what I love about them is that they suit other people, so they're so adaptable and changeable. You can change the colours. Certain models like this one you can't change the colours. But what we love is they use CAN data, so it is lightning fast, there's no delays, and it just works. Simplicity is key. I don't have a customer ringing me saying, Dave, my gauge has gone down, because if the CAN's gone down, the engine's pretty much gone down. And it just awesome. So when it comes to pricing on these swaps, we're currently offering these swaps out at £40,000 plus the VAT. That gets you an LS3 and a manual gearbox. If you wanted to go down the auto route, it is a lot more expensive because there's things we have to consider, things like automatic gearbox coolers, the custom centre console to house the shifter, high and low sticks, all sorts of things that we have to adapt, modify to make it work in the current car. So you're looking at about £5,000 up cost basically on over the manual, but prices are fluctuating. A lot of people say, why don't you put prices on your website? That's because the dollar to the pound is constantly changing, and when it comes to £20,000 or £30,000 worth of equipment, that can fluctuate on margins significantly. So just get in touch if you want a price, and I can quote you exactly where we're going to be within that month.
One last thing, would you say there's a preference between manual or auto depending on what size Defender you're in, whereas 91?
No, I'd say it's down to the customer mainly, because we get a lot of people that want the ultimate machine, they want to have the bragging rights of the, I've got an LS3, I've got 500 horsepower under the bonnet, but they also want something that is easy to drive. The 110 handles power better, And I want to say it gives you that sense of, you know, planted on the road, heavy. And 90 is very sketchy because the wheelbase is so short. Those of you that own 90s will agree with me. They can be very sketty, I want to say is a good word for them. Like when you accelerate hard, they will bounce around and slide around. Miami that I built with the 550 horsepower BMW, that thing was bonkers and sliding around. And if you've got the minerals, you can do whatever you can do, but I'd say for security a 110 is the one, and especially the extra weight, the extra length and the extra space inside, but there's nothing to be frowned upon with the 90. The 90 is a great tool and ticks a lot of boxes. Is this happy birthday?
Happy birthday.
So this is episode 100 of Maker Weekly.
100.
So I found you some cake reduced to clear in the garage on the way here.
It's a bit little, isn't it?
It is. You'll get
That's that first slice from
you get 8 bits out of it though, won't you?
What, like little bits? Don't have to have a little bit. It's not rosy grade, this is it? Really?
Not quite. There's a thought that counts, isn't it? Look at that.
Is that cheese? Cheers.
Cheers.
Is it as good as Bruno's mum's cakes? No?
Thank you.
See, Lou's excited for it.
Best till
There we
last.
You got one.
There we go. Oh, mine's been and gone. Like and subscribe.
You alright?
Bit wet out there.
Yeah. Just call me the tank man.
Good fit that is.
And he better be wrong.
So is that like a long range fuel tank? Is that giving him a lot more than he would have had by stock?
Well, apparently they reckons the standard petrol tank takes 50-60 litres, but these ones you're getting another 30-40 litres. You know, more bang for your bucks. Obviously it's going to hit you in the wallet like.
Is that what you're doing here now?
Obviously the tag's being pushed off there.
Like and subscribe.
And again.
Like and subscribe.
One more.
Like and subscribe.
Turn on the notifications.
Sandblasted, thanks. Be ashamed of yourself. What's his body colour as well?
Right, Bruno, I've seen this chassis knocking around the other side of the workshop the last couple of weeks.
You have indeed. And yeah, now it's got a body mounted onto it, so a bit different than last week. So this project is, he's going to be using it for shooting. It's had an LT1 put in it, coupled up with the automatic gearbox. It's got, as you can see, nice new axle casings. But yeah, it's coming along really nice. We've just been getting all the body mounted up. He's got the Gwyn Lewis mud flaps at the back, just to help protect the nice new tough coated chassis. Heavy duty rear axle. It's riding on some Fox shocks. And yeah, obviously these aren't the wheels that are going to be staying on it. We just put these on. It's just a bit more room to work around. You're going to be having some big chunky ones.
Well, I don't know, track days maybe.
Well, he's got the engine for it, that's for sure.
Is there anything special with these coils, these bronze ones? Or is it just the colour cast?
Yeah, they're just the colour, I believe. But he's had nice like galv spring seats and a few nice galv bits like drop arm and whatnot. He's going to be having some heavy duty anti-roll bars. Heavy duty props, obviously, because it's running a lot more power now. It's had bigger brakes. Full Super Pro bush kit as well on this build.
So what's the next job on this?
We'll be sending the roof off because I believe his roof is getting it repainted to freshen it up a little bit. So that will be going across along with the screen surround, I believe. Yeah, and then get them on, get the roof all bolted up. And yeah. The arm's stuck.
So an update on what's going on here. This came in for a full chassis refurbishment. This is the original chassis, very low mile car. This is what we're going to call Project Lara. So, and as it happens, I've just taken on another project we're going to call Project Lara. So we'll have to call that Project Lara 2. Sorry, Simon, you're second to the boat there. So this one was we're building for a chap, and he approached me and said, Dave, I love what you did with AJB, the LT1. He said, I would like one in this. So we've taken his TD5 out, and we've given him this. The chassis was totally blasted. There's a couple of repairs on the back, small patches here and there. So we've pieced those in, you would never know. This is finished in our tough coat. As those of you know, that's the process that we put into the booth. We blast it, we get all the crap we possibly can. We then bake it in the oven and then get inside it the most we can in these holes with the paint gun. And then we hammer the inside with the wax the best we can, cavity wax. A lot of people like to keep the originality to the chassis. This is an original Tomb Raider, so it's important that he wants to keep its heritage. So the cage has been sent away for powder coating and full restoration, basically. So the front hoop had holes at the side of it, so we managed to locate another one. And he wants us to put the spotlights back where they were and just keep the car looking 100% original.
But what does it do to the gallon?
So I've not actually recorded this one yet because we're all in the running in stages, but we have a customer and we worked out Spirit. I'll have to double check now my figures, but I want to say it was doing like 35 to the gallon, which is impressive, and that is a 5.3 litre V8 coupled to an 8-speed auto. And Steph reported that he was driving that car, rural, city, giving it some beans in the countryside and still getting very good figures. So I want to say this one's going to be doing like circa 20. I'd be happy with 20 because it's that noise. The moment you give it some right foot to get that noise, unfortunately, there's got to be some kind of sacrifice. as there is with any V8.
Oh, right.
I think Galpine did it.
The BMW M57 engine gained legendary status due to its robust performance, smooth power delivery, high torque, and a reputation for reliability and efficiency, making it a favourite amongst automotive enthusiasts like ourselves, and it's also a significant part of BMW's legacy. So here we have 3 BMW to MT82. So what we do, we remove the problematic 2.2 or 2.4 TDCi and we install the BMW legendary M57. So iron block, we like to use the 204, which is the donor engine. We then totally pull them to bits, fully rebuild them, so new pistons, send the crank away to be ground if it is salvageable, same with the cams, and basically bring everything back to life. This engine has one, sorry, this car has one. This car we decided to call Bowler Blue. This has just had one, and this car certainly picks its feet up, running probably circa 300 horsepower. So Project Murray Minter is currently being a pain in the ass, and it decided to throw an electrical problem and now won't fire, but we'll get to the bottom of it. But this one is in current build. This is a fully rebuilt engine. So as you can look down there, everything is very shiny and very new. Fully rebuilt gearbox, stage 2 gearbox, stage 2 transfer case. We've got some ATB diffs to go into this vehicle. So now we've got 3 M57s in the workshop. So if your Puma has died and you would like this swap, prices start at 25,000 plus the VAT.
All right, Pete, got a bit of progress here with Project Precious.
Yep.
What's happened in the last few days?
Quite a lot, to be honest. The whole structure is pretty much done now. We're just sinking the battery into the bodywork. Then all the electrics are going along here. There's 2 big amplifiers, the rest of the wiring, bracings in, and then we'll be onto the roof, which is the awkward bit.
So the roof needs to be extended as well.
Yep, that's not going to be the nicest of jobs, but that's the finishing touch basically.
Is it seized?
Yeah, they're seized up there.
What's the tip then?
Heat them up and then just hope for the best.
Not big muscles then?
Well, they do help sometimes, yeah. Just like that. The owner who owns this now has bought it. He's a second owner of this, but previously he was saying that it was a farm truck, so it's been on the farm all of its life. As you can see, all the cow poo and the rest, the rotting. So,
Do you know what it's having done to it?
it's having, I think it's keeping the same body, because the body isn't in too much, it's not too bad, but it's having a new chassis, I think possibly an engine rebuild, and then it's having the same axles, but we're going to clean them up, sort that all out, and then probably have new suspension system, new springs and new dampers, and new exhaust system so far, but you never know, things change.
So here you have a very, very crusty 300 TDI 90. The customer called me, I think it was about 6-7 weeks ago, and said, Dave, he said, I've got a project, I'm sure you maker guys don't want to touch it. And I said, no, you're wrong. I said, we do want to touch it because I've taken on a couple of apprentices and I had to learn on things like this. So I'm not one of those guys that's going to be too easy on my guys. I want them to learn, I want them to undo corroded bolts. And I came in yesterday and I was really impressed. Jakob's there with a blowtorch, warming a bolt up, getting rid of the rust and taking the nuts off. And he's learning as he's going along. He's only a young guy, but it's all this life knowledge, things that, how do you get to that corroded bolt? You have to cut it off. And this chassis is beyond any form of repair. So we've got a Mahker chassis sat outside, freshly powder coated, that's going to be in its place. So there you have it, guys. We're not just polishing cars here and building V8 cars. This car is going back to original status, and you'll see next week, should be rolling and hopefully driving back out with a brand new chassis on board.
So you fitting a new exhaust to this?
No, not entirely. What I'm doing today is fitting a 45-degree angle on the end of here. Because basically the gentleman that owns this vehicle has spent a lot of money on mountain biking, so I'm led to believe. And where the exhaust comes out, it's actually melting his tyre away. So I'm just basically fitting a 45 angle on the end of this pipe, so it comes out of the back of here, you know, not pointing at the bike but more at the road. So it saves him on bike tyres basically.
So guys, thanks again for watching our awesome channel. We've tried our best to include everything that's going on this week. And can somebody abroad send us some nice rain, because I'm really sick of this horrible wet weather, and I'm sure everyone else is. So thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I think I'm going back to the Bahamas.